Hashtag Ancient America Did You Know Thinking Face. 1781 History Timeline. An American victory this year appears remote. Britain controls the seas, blockades or possesses every major American port except Boston and Newport. Congress is unable to raise troops or money. The French alliance has been a disappointment. The recapture of New York is impossible for lack of naval support, although a French army is lingering on at Newport, Rhode Island, ready to fight. Washington's own army is destitute. Mutiny and desertion are common occurrences. Washington sums up his situation on May 1, 1781, instead of having everything in readiness to take the field, we have nothing, and instead of having the prospect of a glorious offensive campaign before us, we have a bewildered and gloomy defensive one. Much to Washington's surprise and delight, the situation has changed by August. Two powerful French fleets appear, one of them carrying another army. Cornwallis, after reaching Virginia, finds he cannot secure any of the states through which he has traveled. Washington tricks General Clinton into thinking he is about to strike at New York, and shows up at Yorktown, Virginia, instead, with a 16,000-man French-American army. Cornwallis has no alternative but to surrender his army of 7,000 troops. This event marks the end of British hopes to retrieve its rebellious American colonies. By this time, the former colonies have adopted their first written constitution, the Articles of Confederation. January 1, Congress issues $191 million in paper currency, Continentals. January 3, a mutiny breaks out among Pennsylvania troops. Negotiations restore order, but most of the mutineers prepare to desert the army. January 14, Virginia agrees to cede its claims to lands north of the Ohio River, removing the last barrier to ratification by Maryland, the sole holdout of the Articles of Confederation. The cession is not effective until 1784. January 17, General Daniel Morgan wins a smashing victory over Tarleton at Cowpens, South Carolina. January 20, a mutiny of New Jersey troops is quelled by General Robert Howe, who hangs two of the leaders. February 6, Congress establishes a Department of Finance and appoints Robert Morris as superintendent. February 9. In North Carolina, Generals Morgan and Nathaniel Greene join forces as Cornwallis is enticed to pursue them. Crossing the Dan River into Virginia, they await reinforcements from Washington. March 1. Maryland ratifies the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation are declared in force. March 15, Cornwallis wins a technical encounter with Generals Greene and Morgan at the Battle of Guilford Courthouse, North Carolina, but Cornwallis suffers heavy casualties and fails in his attempt to subjugate the Carolinas. March 18. Cornwallis marches to Wilmington, North Carolina, to await reinforcements. April 2, Commander John Berry on the American frigate Alliance is attacked by the British Mars and Minerva, and forces both to surrender. April 25, Cornwallis, against the instructions of his superior, General Clinton, strikes out northward into Virginia, believing that the conquest of Virginia is essential in order to control the South. May 20. Cornwallis reaches Petersburg, Virginia. May 20. France makes a large loan available to the United States. May 21. Washington and French General Rochambeau meet at Wethersfield, Connecticut, to decide on objectives. Rochambeau talks Washington out of his plan to attack New York. May 22 to June 19. Greene again loses, failing to take 96, South Carolina, a heavily fortified town. May 29. John Berry again captures two British ships, but this time they are men of war. Berry is wounded and his crew is nearly in mutiny before he wins the fight. June 4. Tarleton almost captures Jefferson at Charlottesville, Virginia. June 10. Benedict Arnold, now in British uniform, appears at Richmond, Virginia, leading raiding parties. June 14. Congress amends its law of September
27, 1779, in which John Adams is selected as sole negotiator for a peace. He now becomes one member in an American Peace Commission.
The surrender of Cornwallis. June 19, Generals Anthony Wayne, the Marquis de Lafayette, and Baron Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben join forces to prevent raids by Arnold in Cornwallis.
Arnold leaves Virginia, and
Cornwallis moves toward Yorktown. July 20.
Slaves at Williamsburg, Virginia, set fire to several buildings, including Virginia's capital.
August 1. Cornwallis reaches Yorktown and sets up a base for operations. August 12.
Rochambeau breaks camp at Newport and sets out to join Washington at White Plains.
August 21. Washington sends out false data to convince General Clinton that New York is about to be attacked. Instead, the combined French-American army moves quickly toward Philadelphia, on its way to Virginia. August 30. French Admiral Count François de Grasse arrives off the Virginia coast with 28 ships and another French army.
He moves into Chesapeake Bay near Lynnhaven, east of Norfolk, Virginia.
August 31. De Grasse lands a French army near Jamestown, Virginia. These troops join those of Lafayette, while de Grasse sets up a blockade of Chesapeake Bay. September 1. Washington and Rochambeau, marching southward, enter Pennsylvania. September 4.
Spanish Franciscan fathers in Southern California found the mission village of El Pueblo Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles de Porciúnculo, Los Angeles.
September 5 to 8. De Grasse is confronted with the British fleet under Admiral Thomas Graves.
The two fleets meet in Chesapeake Bay. A sharp fight occurs, followed by 3 days of maneuvering.
September 8.
General Greene is defeated at Eutaw
Springs, South Carolina.
Despite this and earlier defeats, Greene has managed to push the British back into Charlestown, and to restore most of South Carolina to American control.
September 9. Another French fleet arrives from Newport, Rhode Island. Graves withdraws toward New York.
This action seals the fate of Cornwallis, who is now penned in on Yorktown Peninsula.
September 14 to 24.
The combined army of Washington and Rochambeau is transported down Chesapeake Bay and reaches Williamsburg, Virginia.
September 28.
The huge Allied force marches the 9 miles from Williamsburg to Yorktown and besieges Cornwallis forces.
September 30. Cornwallis abandons the outer defenses of Yorktown. October 19. Cornwallis surrenders. October 24.
Washington urges an attack on New York, but the French fleet is in a hurry to leave American waters.
November 5.
A large loan from the Netherlands is
made available to the United States. December 31. With adequate funds on hand, an agency is needed to undertake their management, and the Bank of North America is chartered.